Hello, everyone. If you're watching this, I'm guessing one of a couple of things happened. You were not able to attend fall school. I didn't attend fall school either. With everything going on in the world, I just wasn't comfortable doing so. But I was still able to offer doing the workshop virtually because that's what my workshops were anyway. 2, you're at fall school and the technology is not working the way that we thought. So you are not able to do this meeting as a live virtual meeting. So this is plan B. We may actually be using this as part of a plan C or a plan D, all the way down to plan Z. It's always good to have a backup plan. So this is what I have set up as my backup plan in case things do not go the way we want at fall school. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to do so by sharing my PowerPoint. We'll be talking a lot more about PowerPoints in a little bit because they really are a wonderful source. Let me get this set up. As you can see, even when you try to plan things out perfectly, things don't. And this is a recording. Now, I could have gone back and set everything up so that when you are watching this, it looks like everything is perfect. But that's not life. And I wanted you to see I'm recording this live. I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going, and we're going to see what happens. So this is my virtual meetings made easy fall school 2020 slideshow. I use PowerPoint. Google Slides works well too, but because I was thinking of doing some voiceovers and some fancier things, I have it all set up in PowerPoint. Let me introduce myself properly. My name's Tracy Bruno. I am a mother. I am a troop leader. I am a service unit manager. I tutor at home during the day, and I am helping out at church, being a religious educator at night. My family's up in New Jersey, Missouri. They're all up Florida. They're all over the place, but they're not here in Delaware. So this shutting down thing really kind of affected us a bit. I am a COVID quarantiner. I work from home. My groceries are delivered. I'll pick them up at Walmart if I can, but if I can't, they're delivered to the house. We're homeschooling our daughter this year. We don't go out to public events. We don't have friends over our house. We are really trying to do our part to stay safe and to keep others safe. That being said, it hasn't stopped us from living a beautiful, enriching lifestyle. If anything, it has brought us all closer together and helped us appreciate each other's gifts. Zoom, FaceTime, email, Facebook, Google, they help us stay connected with the outside world. Oh, and this can also be used as a phone to actually call people. We've done that too. We get creative with our contact-free activities. Even as Girl Scouts doing fundraising, we were able to do a wonderful fundraiser doing flamingo flocking that was completely contact-free. Each girl that was participating got a dozen flamingos. They were her flamingos for the campaign. We put envelopes, left them in people's mailboxes. They either texted, emailed, they could call and tell us who they wanted to flock next. We took payments through electronic payment, and it was a successful, fun activity. Got the girls out of the house, got them out doing something, and then they would all talk to each other at the end of the evening. Oh, I almost got caught doing this. Oh, I did get caught, and we had to do this, this, and that. And so it was also something for them to talk about socially afterwards. Now, some other things that we do in our family, we play board games. We are a big gaming family, board games and video games. We go for walks, we go for hikes, taking on new learning challenges. There's so many learning opportunities that are out there on the internet, but also things that are here at home that we can do. And we just find new ways to do our favorite things because we're Girl Scouts and we don't let things stop us. As we go on, even though it's on a video, I have a tendency to talk quickly. Part of it is nerves. Part of it is I just talk stream of consciousness. So if I am talking too fast, the benefit of a video is you can pause it, you can stop it, you can go walk away and come back later. But I do apologize in advance if I talk too fast. You will need to have some sort of video conferencing tool in order to hold your virtual meetings. Zoom, Cisco WebEx, Google Hangouts, FaceTime, of course, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams. There's a whole lot of companies that are out there right now offering this platform that a year ago I didn't even know existed. I mean, I knew about FaceTime, I knew about Skype, but Zoom, I'd never heard of Zoom. Now, Zoom and I spend a lot of time together each day. Most of these programs offer a free option. Some of them are limited by the size. Programs such as Google Hangouts were limited to only 10 participants. That didn't work for my troop. My troop is large, and with the leaders and the girls, everyone in attendance, we sometimes are up to 18, 20 girls, 20 participants at a meeting. So Google Hangouts didn't work for us. Similarly, FaceTime didn't work. There were too many of us for regular meetings. FaceTime works great for doing some mentoring back and forth as girls are working, say, on the Silver Project or a service project. But it doesn't really work well for your full troop meeting. Cisco, I have a Cisco account. I haven't used it because I had the Zoom already by the time I found Cisco. But what I've seen, they work very similarly. And Microsoft Teams, GoToMeeting, they also work on similar basis. I'm going to focus on Zoom because it's what I know best. But knowing what Zoom can do can help you with any of the other platforms. Most of them are free, but free comes with limitations, either limited number of participants or limited time that you can have in a session. So Zoom, for instance, I believe their current time limit is 45 minutes. At 45 minutes, boom, your meeting's over. It's done with, they disconnect you. Now, everyone can re-log in and you can continue your meeting for another 45 minutes. But especially with girls and younger girls, you'll lose the girls if that happens. They'll, oh, my meeting's over, they're off, they're doing something else, and they don't come back and they don't get to hear the final stuff that you have planned. So I would try to plan your meetings to either get the material that you want to do in that time frame of about 40 minutes, or go ahead and get one of the paid accounts. I use the paid account for Zoom because I use it for Girl Scouts, I use it for tutoring, I use it for communicating with family, I use it for everything. So for me, it was very beneficial to go ahead and get the paid account. It comes to about $10, $15 a month. And with that, I have unlimited time, unlimited number of meetings, and I think I can have up to 100 people in a meeting. I didn't go for the top of the plan. I went for the one that just was what I needed. So as I said, we're going to do a closer look at Zoom. I'm going to attempt to show you how to create the meetings, do the invites, do all the little nuts and bolts that go along with it. So just quick checklist: create the meeting, send the invite, some Zoom etiquette, virtual backgrounds, sharing your screen, co-hosts, breakout rooms, and the whiteboard. So I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to try and bring up the Zoom account in another window. And I won't know if this works until I'm done recording this and I get a chance to check. I may have just spent a lot of time for something that didn't work at all. It's all part of the learning process. Assuming you can see this, this is the sign-in. I have an account, so I have it set up to sign in with my Facebook account. That works easiest for me. And I just go ahead and sign in with that. You can see that I have other meetings that are already scheduled. They have the times that are there. Most of my meetings are recurring meetings, so I have them set up that way. I have a name that lets me know what they are. I can start them at any time. I could start this meeting right now if I want it and just hit start, and that would work. I can also make changes, change the dates, and do things like that. But let's start with scheduling a meeting. So up across the top here, it has an option that says schedule a meeting. It brings you up the window where you can do all of your planning. So let's call this one Fall School. I accidentally hit the return, so it has it all already saved for me. It already put in some things. I want to go back and do edit so you can see what the other features are. You set the date. You can click on the calendar. Because I had accidentally hit the return, it had saved it for right away. This lets me change the date, so I have it changed for Saturday. I don't actually remember what time this session is. I'll just say 2 o'clock. I'm going to set it for an hour. Even if I go longer than an hour, that's fine. It'll keep on going. And if I go less, definitely not a problem. But this will block out an hour for me. I can choose recurring. Troop meetings, I have it set up for recurring because we meet on a regular schedule. So here I can set up how often I want it to occur. If I have a weekly meeting that occurs every other week on Thursday, there I have it. I have it all set up. Now, this one says it will end on December. So if you're not certain if you're going to need virtual meetings into January, you can just set them up through the end of this year. And you can always extend that, edit it, and add more time on later on. Registration, when you click on required, attendees will need to register. So your girls would need to click on the link that you provide. They can register once, and then they can attend all the rest of the meetings. They don't have to register to each one individually. You can set it up with other options as well, but I find that that is the most useful for our troops. If you're doing the required registration, I would opt to maybe say you don't need the passcode. That's just one more thing for the girls to have trouble logging in with, but it is another security feature that you can have. The passcode is auto-generated. I do believe you can actually change the passcode so that it is something that you can make up yourself. And you can also insist that whenever someone comes, they go into a waiting room. What this does is there's another little area, virtual area, and they all go there, and until you or your co-host admit them into the meeting, they're staying there. That's great if you have a guest speaker. You can do your other preamble stuff, get everyone settled before you have the guest speaker come in. It's also a great way of making certain that you don't have meeting bombers, someone who's just coming in and they found your link somewhere and they're just checking in. One thing you need to be careful of, though, is the girls' families are all often sharing Zoom accounts, so names are changing all the time as to who's on there. So it may be one of your girls and it's showing up as Joe Smith. So maybe you want to check in with them, make certain that it is that they belong at your meeting. And if not, then you can block them from the meeting afterwards. Audio, I usually set that to both. I have one girl who the visual works great on her tablet, but the audio doesn't work well. So she then calls into the meeting, and that way she can participate fully. And you have these other meeting options here as well. You can let them join before you do get on. They're in the waiting room, so that's a perfect option. I often have a message up there on the screen as well so that they know what they need for the meeting. You can also choose to mute the participants upon entry. This is often done especially for large groups because you hear all sorts of noise, dogs barking, babies crying, brothers and sisters fighting, all sorts of things going on. You can mute this, and this way you can have quiet when you start your meeting. Personally, I like to get them started talking because the virtual platform, often they're very quiet. They are hesitant about speaking, and if I have them muted, then they don't talk. So often I have the other problem where they're muting themselves. Please unmute yourself. Please participate. Please come and join us. But again, you have that option. So if you need to speak at any time during the meeting, you can go ahead and mute everybody. Only authenticated users can join. That is something you probably want to check, especially if you're registering. And you can also do breakout rooms. Let's say you have a multi-level troop and you want the daisies to go to one room and the brownies to go to another room with leaders. You can do that. They can do their activities and then come back and share what they've done. This option says you can automatically record the meeting. I recommend you don't use that. Our Girl Scout guidelines tell us not to record the meetings because we're looking in people's homes and it's a privacy issue. So if you do want to record a meeting, and there's times when we wanted to record something, the girls are working on a media badge, they're working on a commercial for their fall product. So we let them know, hey, we want to record this. Is everyone okay? Does everyone have permission from your parents for us to record this? Go get the permission from your parents. I want to hear your parents say that it's okay. Great, we're ready to go. Let's begin. Or you can send out in advance, letting parents know that you're going to be recording a meeting. But for the most part, just don't record. it's not necessary. So here's the save. After you've made your changes, you click save. And when I go to look for my meetings, I'm going to show you that later. It'll show up in my meetings area. Here is just a review of what you have. Check the time, check your frequency. It's fall school. Here's your meeting ID. Here's your passcode. And here is the registration link. You copy that. All of this gets copied, and you can email it to people. Here is the link for you to register. You can shorten it down and just give out the registration link without all the other verbiage if you need to send it out in text or a reminder or something along those lines. When they click on that link, they'll have to put in their information, and then Zoom will send them the link and password that they will need in order to access the meeting. In this way, you can check in advance to see how many people are registered for the meeting. And if you have girls who are supposed to have registered, it's a great way to remind the parents, hey, we're on Zoom. You're not registered yet, so you don't have the link. Please go ahead and do so. Video, I have it set so both host and participants can be on video, but I can turn off the participant video. This way they're focusing on the host. Again, I don't like to do that for the troop meetings. Purpose of the troop meetings is to get the girls to socially engage, not to keep them isolated in their homes more so than they are. There's the audio and the meeting options that are chosen. Okay. Now, if I wanted to start this meeting right away, I could do so and just click start this meeting, but I do not want to do that because it will probably kick me out of where I am now. So I'm going to come over here to the side and show meetings. Now, this meeting was set up for October 3rd. So if I scroll through, I'll find October 3rd. There's the meeting. And when I'm ready to start the meeting, I just click on start and the meeting will begin. Let me see. Yeah, so I can't show that part of it there because it'll kick me out of what I'm currently doing. It's only so much you can do. So let me see if I can show you a little bit in a different way. Now, Zoom does look different depending on the platform that you're using. If you are doing a laptop or a tablet or working on your phone, things are going to appear in different ways and you will have different options available to you. So what I think I have just done is I'm sharing my entire screen. So as I move things around on my desktop, you're seeing that. I'm going to go ahead and close this feature. I'm hoping that you can see the tools that are here. There is a mute feature. That one is quite helpful, both for muting myself. If it's not my turn to speak, I might mute myself. It often helps me keep me from interrupting others. But also if I need to take care of something like yell at the dog. I don't necessarily want everyone hearing that, so I can click on mute, tell the dog to go lay down, and come back to my meeting. Other features that they have there, you can switch your microphones, find the one that works for you. If the screen is not showing up on the microphone, then your voice is probably not being heard. So that's a little visual to let you know whether or not you have a problem. If you do mute it, as you hopefully saw, there was a little black line there. Next to it is the video. Same as the audio, you can turn that on and off. So you can have your video on. I actually have two cameras. I have a little one that's on top of my laptop. Just because of the tutoring, I needed some extra width for my camera. But there's also an option down here called Choose Virtual Backgrounds. This is one that the girls love to play with because you can choose any of these designs that are down here and it will put it behind you. So all of a sudden, I'm in California or I'm on the moon. Now, it's a really neat feature, but as you walk around, it's constantly trying to adjust for the outline of you so that like you see parts of an arm and things are missing and it gets a little blotchy. And the girls, especially the young girls, they really like to play with that, and it gets distracting. They're paying more attention to their backdrops than they are to the meeting that's going on. You can also add any image that you want. By clicking on this, you can go then and choose any of your pictures. So here is one that we have from our Girl Scout troop. There's one of my little emoji that I have going on. So you can choose all sorts of pictures. It's one of my favorites. It's from a vacation I had last summer. And it was a lovely memory. I hope to be able to go back there someday. But for the most part, I personally keep it on none because it has the most realistic vision. I don't have all the distortion going on, and it's easier for the girls to focus on my words because they're not watching my head disappear or watching the moon come through my gray hair. So all sorts of things can happen that you're not expecting. Some other features that you have in your settings, in addition to the virtual background, there is a chat feature. The chat feature just gives you some of the ways to set it up. Let me see if I can bring up chat. It's just a chat window, and it can be set to everyone. There is a way to say that they cannot chat with everyone public, limit who they chat with. So I tend at this point to put it on host only. Otherwise, there's all these side conversations going on and I can't monitor that. And it is a Girl Scout meeting. I need to be able to hear and be responsible for what's going on. So I usually set it so they can only chat with myself. But it is great for sending out messages to everyone. For instance, if we're going to be playing a game on Jackbox, I might put up the code and post it up. And now everyone who's in the meeting sees the code. They can copy it, they can play it, they can put it in. It's also great for when you're asking for a response. So what do you think your goals should be this year for fall product? How much are you trying to sell? And everyone can put in their own goals. 250. What's your favorite animal? Cat. All sorts of questions that can be asked and shared through the Zoom chat feature. And it's a way of everyone having a voice without everybody talking at once. You can also attach files on here, although I find that once you put it up, the girls just don't pay attention to it as much. It's easier to have the file actually shown up on the screen than to send it to them. But that is an option. If there's an activity you want them to work on, they can open up the file and they can do it on their screens. I mentioned a little bit about the virtual backgrounds and how that's not really a great idea, and I'm talking, so there's all this Zoom etiquette that's out there. Pretty much when someone is speaking, everyone else should be quiet. That's standard. We do that at our own troop meetings. You also want to make certain that the backgrounds, if they do have a background, that it's appropriate, that they're not putting up something that is non-Girl Scout approved. They need to be dressed appropriately. Don't be wearing your pajamas to a Zoom meeting. This is a Girl Scout meeting. Dress for a Girl Scout meeting. Mute yourself if you're going to be having a side conversation. Don't bring your tablet or your phone or whatever with you to the bathroom. You might accidentally turn on the audio or turn on the video. I know I've accidentally turned it on and off while sitting at my desk. But going someplace like to the bathroom and then sharing that experience is more than we need to do. So if you need to go take care of personal things, go take care of personal things. You'll be back. It's same as a meeting. Zoom etiquette, Zoom etiquette. Oh, there's a couple more things that I'm forgetting. But as I think about it, we'll talk about it some more. The most part is, again, showing respect. Girl Scouts are responsible for what they say and do. They respect themselves and others. That includes being good listeners and participating. And participating is the harder part for most of the girls. We talked about the virtual backgrounds. Sharing the screen. There is a little button that comes up. Mine right now says stop share because I'm sharing my screen. I have options when I choose the share screen of what I want to share. It has to be opened already, but it can be my desktop. I can go onto the internet and share things on the internet. I can share the PowerPoint. I can share other files that I have. I can look into my picture file and share that. It's a great way for showing the girls how to go through and do different things and go on virtual trips with them. Singing as a group causes some problems because there is a lag time. So what we do tend to do for the singing is put the words up and everyone kind of mutes and sings along, or we just go for the cacophony. Sometimes that's just as much fun. I just try to slow myself down a little bit so that it matches what the girls are singing. Same thing for the pledge, same thing for the promise and the law. Having it up on the screen helps everyone remember the words, but it's going to sound loud. It's going to sound disorganized, and that's an okay thing. Co-hosts. When I set up my meetings, I usually have my co-leader on as my co-host. That way, if I'm leading the meeting, I can focus on the meeting while she's letting people in, she's checking the chat, she's able to get things set up for the next part that we're going to be doing. And if I need to leave for any reason, she is already set up. I can leave the meeting and return later. When the girls are leading the meetings, I make them the co-hosts as well. It helps with them being able to share their files, share their PowerPoints, and have the same kind of controls because I'm teaching them to lead a meeting. Talked a little bit about the breakout rooms as well. That is a nice feature for when they're working on projects, or if they're playing a game and they have to come up with a puzzle, go work on your puzzle, come back and share. Just make sure that you have leadership in those rooms because you do not want the girls unsupervised, even on Zoom. Now I am going to choose Stop Share so that I can reshare and bring up the whiteboard. Most of the programs have a version of a whiteboard, and it is a wonderful tool because the girls can actually work collaboratively on this board. They have a set of tools that they can find under Annotate. Sometimes it's found under View, sometimes it's found under the 3 continuing dots with More, but somewhere they should find tools for Annotate. These tools, when they come up, will let them type. It will let them draw, and they can draw lines, they can draw shapes, do some arrows. There's different stamp tools. The little ones really love the stamps. And there is, of course, an eraser. You can change colors underneath the format. So it's pretty much like your word processing bar might be. And it's a way each girl has the tools and they can come up and they can participate. So come up and work on a logo. Let's come up with what does Girl Scouts mean to you. I want everyone to write 2 words on this board on what Girl Scouts means to you. And they all have the ability to do so. And then you can, of course, clear the drawings, but you also have the option to save it, and you can then email it to them and share it with them in other formats. Let's come back to our PowerPoint. That was a lot of information. Good thing about the video is you can always go back and re-watch parts that I went very quickly over. It is way too easy for us to spend the entire day sitting on our chair looking at the screen. Our meetings don't have to be another one of those events. There are ways to get the girls up, to get them moving, to get them active, to get them socially engaged, rather than sitting there with the mute button on, just watching you. Play games with them. Older girls, we've done some of the Jackbox games. We've done bingo. We've done charades. So there's lots of different ways to play these games virtually through the internet. We've done lots of trivia. They love Kahoot. They've been making up their own Kahoots and sharing them. We've done Jeopardy style games, which I have on this board to show you a little bit later. So there's lots of ways to play games on using the internet. Have them create something and then share it on screen. We were working on one of the STEM badges, the engineering badges, and the girls were creating their launches, their catapults. Here's what you need to do. We went over the basics. It took us about 5-10 minutes of them watching me on the screen. All right, everyone, you've got 20 minutes. Go create your launches. Stay where I can see you. Go work on it, and when you're done, we're going to come back and share. They went off, and they're creating, and I get to hear their thought processes. It was wonderful because They're going, oh, well, if I move it this way and I do that, then maybe you'll go further. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try this. And they're thinking things through. They're not necessarily competing with each other because they're in their own homes and they're not on the screens. They're on the floor. They're down. They're working. They're building. They're using their imagination, their creativity, their thinking processes. It was amazing. We've done the same thing with painting. Go look out your window. What do you see? I want you to paint it. Come back to me in 20 minutes, a half hour. We're going to share what we've done. So lots of different things that we can do like that you would normally do at your meetings. Let them go away from the screen, and then they come back and they show you what they've done. We've also had one of our girls, she's led everyone in learning how to do some dancing. She was teaching them the names of dances. She's really passionate about dancing. And she got everybody up and they were doing dancing. We did cooking. They cooked their meals off screen before the meeting. They came to the meeting. They showed what they had cooked. They talked about the different things that they had done. And they had dinner together, which they thought was fabulous. They were all talking as they were eating and having a great time. And then, as I mentioned with the whiteboard, you can collaborate on the whiteboard. Those annotate tools are available in other places as well. So you can use them to circle things that you want to highlight, to point out, you know, let's look at what his feet are doing down here. And they can do the same thing. So you can do an I Spy type activity. Can you find the word for? Oh, there it is. Great. Everyone, wonderful. That's fantastic. So lots of interactive things that you can do. If you find the girls, though, are doing the annotate tools when they shouldn't, you can turn them off. Just so you know, it's underneath more, and it's disable participants, disable attendee annotation. Okay. All of this takes more preparation. You can wing it when you're at a meeting. Hey, everybody, let's go outside and play tag. You can't so much do that on the virtual meeting. You can end the meeting earlier, but it's, if we're getting the girls engaged, let's keep them engaged as long as we can. They want to just sit there. They're tired. They've been on Zoom classes, and they're being taught in school, in most of their classes, to be silent participants. The first thing they do is they're told to mute them, or to just, you know, let me see what you're doing, hold it up. But they're not talking. They're not engaging because it's difficult to manage. Let them talk. Let them talk to each other. Let them sing. Let them be silly. Let them be girls, and let them get that sisterhood bond. All right, let me get my tools to work again because I was playing with Annotate. If you're looking for ideas on lessons that work well online, I would say, well, most of them do. My daughters and most of the other girls, they've taken some sort of sport and such online, even dance lessons, roller skate lessons. They warmed up for volleyball and softball, all sorts of things. So there's a lot of things that are available. These are all set up as links. So I can show you how some of these work, but there is the Girl Scouts at Home. Girl Scouts of Chesapeake Bay, they have a lot of activities as well. A lot of great events, a lot of them are free. One of the wonderful opportunities that we have is that our girls can participate in Girl Scout activities across the world. We're not paying for transportation, we're not paying for overnight lodgings. $15 for a badge event that might be happening over here in California. And my daughter is earning a badge and meeting people and getting ideas and learning about Girl Scouts. She's been in forums. She has done badge opportunities. She has done a Hamilton talk that she absolutely loved. So all sorts of opportunities are available out there. And our own council is doing a great job of providing some of those. Facebook has a lot of activities, what other people are doing. It's a great option there to get some ideas, virtual campouts, virtual cupcake wars, all sorts of things that they're doing. Visit other council pages. Yes, Girl Scouts of the Chesapeake Bay is our hometown, but other councils are offering things too. And you are a registered Girl Scout in Girl Scouts USA, so you are able to participate in many of those events. If it is a council-only event, they will let you know when you try to sign up. They'll say council only or troop only, but most of them are open to anyone who wants to sign up for them. The other opportunities that are out there are the museums, the zoos, and other business sites. They are all out there. They're trying to stay afloat too. They are offering opportunities for girls, for schools, for families, so that we can go to the zoo and learn about the animals, go to an art museum and see the paintings of Van Gogh, without having to leave our homes because we can't. A great option to do is to just do a Google search for virtual field trips and see what comes up. Many of them are there. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on our own Girl Scouts of Chesapeake Bay to show you how the link works. The link is in my PowerPoint, but it brings it right on up into my browser. Now, you might not be able to see it with the share screen. So I do have to stop, share my screen, and then go in. But it's a matter of a couple of clicks as opposed to all the downtime that might have occurred if I had to type things in, I mistyped, it didn't come up correct. So it takes away some of that uncertainty. And here are some of the badges that we do have available here in our own council. Please take advantage of them. They are wonderful. They are great opportunities for the girls to meet other Girl Scouts, meet other leaders, and really do things that they wouldn't normally have done. Okay, we stop that, come back. As much as possible, follow your traditional meeting routines. Put up a flag on the screen. There's a lot of these animated GIFs there. They're kind of neat to watch. Do your Pledge of Allegiance. Your Girl Scout promise and your Girl Scout law. There's nothing stopping you from doing those. There's videos. Play the videos. If you don't know the words and you're not comfortable singing on Zoom, bring up a video and have the girls sing along with the video. So if we were meeting in person, virtual Zoom, then we would be playing this Jeopardy game. I'm going to go through just a few of them. As a recording, you don't want to watch me go through all of them. These templates are available. There's also some Wheel of Fortune templates and a couple of the other game show type templates that are up there. And the slideshows are already created. You just have to input the information. So here are the categories. Categories we have are virtual platforms, safety, be prepared, move it, games and trips, and traditions. So as you see, it comes up, looks like a typical Jeopardy board, and the girls can call out what they would like. So let's say that Jamie would like to have games and trips for $100. Find items in your house that are on a list and bring it back to show the group. The answer would be, what is a scavenger hunt? Yay! Jamie got $100 because she got it correct. Click on the screen again. It brings you back to the board and it shows that that one was answered. And it will do that for each of them. Move it for $400. Let's put all our ideas on the whiteboard. Then I want you to make your own poster. What is collaboration? What is teamwork? How do we do group projects virtually? So it can be a great learning tool. You can set these up for your fundraising, for your different badges. Everyone is going to take a selfie and record themselves saying one part of the law. Send your photo and video to your troop email and Susie will put together the group video. How do I give girls ownership of their virtual projects? So I had a lot of really cool ideas in there. Just don't have time to show all of them to you. But what I will do is I will make this PowerPoint presentation available to you, and you can go through and you can see the different slides that were there. And it's just going to keep on going through the game. So I'm going to stop the share. If you want to reach me, if you have questions, if you have ideas, and please share your ideas with the world. We all need to share everyone's ideas so that we can do this better. But you can reach me at gscbsu31@gmail.com. That's the best way to email me. You can also just ask people about Tracy Bruno. I've got a question. You know how I get in touch with her. And anyone from Service Unit 31 knows how to reach me. And again, my name is Tracy. All right, so I hope this was informative. I hope it was something that you could use. I look forward to hearing about all the great things that your girls are doing virtually and non-virtually. And hopefully this will just become an extra tool that we can use instead of a platform that we need to use. The girls have taught me a lot. When I don't know something, I ask. And it has modeled for them that they can do the same thing. We don't need to have all the answers. We just need to be willing to look for them. So stay safe, stay well, live the Girl Scout law, and I hope to see you at next year's fall school. Bye.